Hi there, I'm Daddy Reads It, and today we're going to be reading about the story of Cinderella. Cinderella the Princess. This is done. This was published by Brown Watson. Cinderella was the kindest, sweetest girl in all the world, but, as sometimes happens with good, gentle people, she was treated very badly. Her two ugly sisters and her horrid stepmother made Cinderella do all the hard work. She washed and swept and cleaned and made the fires while her stepsisters lazed about, guzzling food and generally being bad-tempered. One day, an exciting invitation arrived. His Majesty the King wishes to invite all the young ladies in the kingdom to a grand ball in honour of Prince Charming. The ugly sisters squealed with excitement, running to look at the distant palace from their window.
"He's bound to dance with me,"
babbled one.
"No, me, you mean,"
giggled the other.
"He'll kiss me, I know it."
Far away in the palace, however, the prince dreamed of dancing with a beautiful young girl, certainly not an ugly sister. Soon, Cinderella was very, very busy, sewing new ball gowns for her two stepsisters as they tried them on, and squabbled and preened. It never occurred to either of them that Cinderella might want to go to the ball too. At last, the two sisters set off for the palace, leaving Cinderella exhausted and very sad. She sank down on the kitchen floor and began to sob. "Oh, I did so want to go to the ball too," she cried as the teardrops slipped down her sweet face. The cat touched her cheek gently to wipe away the tears, while the mice scurried across with a clean handkerchief. Look, there's the mice. All of a sudden, there was a bright flash of light, and there, right in front of Cinderella, stood a beautiful fairy. "Don't cry, Cinderella," she said. "I am your fairy godmother, and I have come to help you. You shall go to the ball." Cinderella gasped in amazement and stood up, wiping away her tears. "Now, come along," said her fairy godmother. "I need all sorts of things to make the magic work. Now, fetch me a good round pumpkin, 4 mice, and that little frog I can see peeping around the door." So, Cinderella scurried about and gathered everything together. Then, the fairy godmother waved her magic wand as showers of brilliant stars sparkled in the sky. The pumpkin turned into a golden coach, the mice became 4 fine horses, and the frog turned into a coachman in an emerald coat, who bowed and said, "Do step aboard, Cinderella." "Wait!" cried the fairy godmother. "You need a beautiful dress first." Again, she waved her wand. In a flash, Cinderella's rags turned into the most magnificent ball gown, trimmed with roses, ribbons, and lace. 2 sparkling glass slippers peeped out below. "Oh my!" gasped Cinderella as the cat and all her kittens clapped and cheered. "Now, you must be back before midnight," warned the fairy godmother, "for then the magic and your beautiful dress will vanish." "I promise," said Cinderella. Soon, the coach was speeding on its way through the starry night towards the golden palace, the ball, and the prince. Prince Charming was having a disappointing evening. The finest ladies in the land crowded around him, but somehow they all seemed incredibly dull. Then Cinderella arrived. As she stepped into the ballroom, it was as if time stood still, and a golden light flowed from her. Prince Charming fell in love with her that very moment, and would dance with no one else. The evening vanished in a whirl. Suddenly, the clock chimed midnight. "Oh no, I must go!" Cinderella gasped, running away down the palace steps and into the gardens as her dress turned into rags. Soon, the coach was a pumpkin, and the horses scurrying mice, and the coachman frog hopped into the palace pond. Prince Charming found Cinderella's slipper on the palace steps. He had no idea why she had vanished, but he decided that he must set out to find whose foot would fit the slipper. When he arrived at Cinderella's house, the ugly sisters tried to squeeze their toes into the dainty slipper. At last, it was Cinderella's turn. "It fits! It fits!" cried the prince, taking her hand as she smiled up shyly into his shining eyes. The prince and Cinderella were married the very next week, and, of course, lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed reading Cinderella's story with me today, guys. And remember, if you want to hear more stories, like and subscribe to the channel. Daddy Reads It. See you next time. Bye!